What's up, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. So today, Studio Intrepid did their monthly development update for Ashes of Creation, giving us a behind the scenes of the development process for Ashes of Creation. This will be touching just on the main things that were shown, so if you want to see the in-depth discussion, I highly recommend you check out Studio Intrepid's original video on the Ashes of Creation YouTube channel. Anyways, without further ado, enjoy. First thing Steven touches on are the skills. Up until this point, they only really used one example of a skill, a dash, in the fighter class that would be augmented into a blink for improved mobility. Well, today they showed many skills, one of them being Javelin skill. Now Javelin is your bread and butter skill if you want to be a tank, as this skill will allow you to safely pull a single ad into melee distance with a single click of a button. You'll fire a hook, that when it finds its prey will latch onto it and drag it back to the caster. This is believed to be a target skill with little to no cooldown, making it highly versatile if you plan on playing a melee initiator. Next up on the list is Blink. Now I did mention that fighter could get an augment that made their dash a blink, and it just so happens that the secondary class needed to augment that dash is Mage. And lo and behold, if you choose Mage as your primary class, they too come with a blink that was shown to do pretty much what you'd expect a blink to do. It is worth noting that you can rank skills up, allowing you to give the skill an added effect or increase already existing effects on said skill. Before we look at the last major skill, it's worth noting that there were other skills that were used in the gameplay reveal, however were not talked about. Examples of these were Holy Light, was used on an ad that shot a beam of light into the ground, as well as Fireball Eruption skill, which we have no name for. Anywho, last but not least, we got a sneak peek at what I like to call the Death Beam, though its designated name was Prismatic Beam. This bad boy fires a massive, and I mean massively long laser that initially was said to stop at the first target hit. With ranking the skill up with extra skill points, you can allow it to penetrate through anything. Moving on from skills though, they talked about professions, and mainly how gathering would work in the game. It would seem gathering follows the same principles in other games, where you have a node, and that node has X amount of tries until it despawns, only to then respawn at a different location. They even talked about how gatherers, processors, and crafters are made in a way to be interdependent on one another, to allow for a healthy and equal distribution of said professions in the communities that are established. Another quick thing to add is that, just like other games, there are tiered nodes that are dependent on your level, as they are super rare nodes you won't be able to see or gather straight away, as well as large nodes which everyone can gather until it's depleted, to then spawn elsewhere. But bear in mind that your tools don't have infinite durability. They can break, and they can require you to repair them via materials. It's not been fully explained how the system works, but I'm sure it will become clear later down the line. With professions and gathering out of the way, let's turn our attention to dungeons. Yes, dungeons. I don't know about you, but this is what I was super intrigued about, alongside classes and combat. Thankfully, it didn't disappoint, just like previous gameplay reveals. This dungeon is the one that's been shown off on multiple occasions, and now we finally get a full-on tour just how the dungeon is structured and how vast and intricate it really is. It's worth noting that on launch, you shouldn't be able to just run through the dungeon the way they were doing on stream. There will be things that prevent progression unless cleared. Moving on though, we see varying rooms and structures, and as they get to the boss via a teleporting mechanic, we're shown a hugely vast and volcanic arena with the dragon boss situated in the very middle. That's all we get to see for now, and the gameplay abruptly ends, which is followed by the art showcase. In the art showcase, we're shown many different works. They show us what Dunir housing and structures look like, and in case you didn't know, Dunir are based off the infamous dwarves, who are known for their smithing and local residents being in the mountains. And as such, they are given a dark palette with very traditional buildings. Something to note is that this style of architecture is available to nodes whose development is thanks to the majority of players who opt for a Dunir character, and thus your node will be themed around the race who contributed the most to that node's development. Speaking of players, they revealed some swimming gameplay, Hurrah! It's still in the early stages, but so far it looks very clean, and the underwater floor shown also looks spectacular. I personally especially like the arches and caves that can be seen on the seabed, as well as the aquatic plants. Those are really cool. Before we get to the final part of the stream, I want to quickly add that they showed off some early models for progressive gear, which seems to be evolving armor sets that you can craft and a cosmetic gauntlet that will be assumed to be for the cosmetic shop. I'm not too sure on that one. Oh, and they revealed the goblin model. Sadly not a character race, but you can turn into one if you're lucky enough to get a monster coin from events. That's not bad. But anyways, moving on to the final topic. Character animations and models. We got to take a look at enemy animations as well as models, and I must say, they look really clean, especially for an early build. First of these models was the Warbeast, which you could think of it as akin to a rhinoceros, or at least that's what it looks like to me. They showed the walking, running, and attack animations, as well as the in-game model. Very cool indeed. Next on the list is the ram. And the ram also got a running and walking animation. However, instead of an attack animation, we got treated to an in-game look of a ram equipped with armor, pulling a Dunir themed caravan, teasing the caravan section of the game. In case you didn't know, the game will be featuring caravan PvP, as well as caravan transporting. And last but not least, the spider models. They came in many different flavors. I'm personally not really a spider guy. In fact, it's safe to say I hate spiders. But I must say that translucent one was very well done. And just like other enemies, these little guys will in fact vary in size, from being knee height to being taller than you, so watch out. Oh, and we also got some in-game combat stuff for them. Anyways, that's going to do it for my quick brief summary of Intrepid's Ashes of Creation development update. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, have a good one.